So, we need to understand this whole thing about mental ailments. There are pathological issues, genetic issues, other things. But the social issues are in just the way we respond to what's around us. Are we responding consciously or are we in a compulsive state of reaction? This is a fundamental difference. The line between sanity and insanity is so thin. Between health and ill health also is so thin. If you keep crossing it for fun, one day you don't come back, that's when you complain. So you don't cross that. The society has to develop this discipline that has to create a culture that there is no virtue in acting crazy. Right now, I don't see much of this, I'm like whatever the movies and things that are happening. What I see across the world, particularly it started with Hollywood, I think, but now it's across the world, that how do you handle your emotions? If you get something angry, you take the pots in the kitchen and throw it at somebody or at the wall at least. Is this the way you handle your emotions? Is this the way you handle differences between people? Either you must punch them in the face or shoot them in the head. There is no other way to handle this. So this is a whole culture and people are surprised, why is there so much violence? Well, look at the games that children are playing. They're shooting comic characters right from the age of 5, 6, they're shooting comic characters and cartoon kind of images. When they turn 18, they will come of age, they would like to shoot something real. It's beginning to happen. Yeah, they are telling me over 230 shootings have happened since the beginning of this year. That's more than one per day. So I'm saying, people are thinking it's the guns, it's the human beings. Yes, for those human beings, guns are available, that's another issue. But the important thing is human being. If I have a kitchen knife, should I poke you? Everybody has a knife in their homes. Should we take it up and poke our neighbor? Why is such a thing coming? Because society is cultivating such a culture that violence is a part of our life, all right? So, violence against yourself is mental illness. Well, you may be doing it in an uncontrollable way, maybe it's not in your hands right now. At such a time, you may need some chemical support from outside. I'm not saying medicines are completely useless, no, they are useful. For many people, they would not be able to manage themselves or doctors would not be able to manage them without chemical, inputs. That is accepted. But for a whole lot of things, human beings, if they take responsibility for their health and they develop simple tools as to how to manage my body, how to manage my chemistry. See, today everybody knows because of medical sciences that human experience of life as a basis has a chemistry attached to it. There is a chemistry. There is a chemistry of joy, there is a chemistry of love, there is a chemistry of blissfulness, there is a chemistry of stress, anxiety, misery. For everything there is a chemical basis. So essentially, this is the most complex and sophisticated chemical factory on the planet, the human mechanism. Now the question is, are you a great CEO or a lousy CEO? But our education systems, our social customs have nothing about this. We are busy wanting to conquer the world without any sense in ourselves. But now the way we are empowered with science and technology, if we do not take charge of ourselves, we are going to be the biggest disaster. Already we are an impending disaster, both in terms of environment and these days it's fashionable to talk about World War III. See, this is almost like World War I happened, World War II happened, so III must happen. Number system this is, all right? In 2 generations we have seen 2 world wars. Now the 3rd generation must see the 3rd world war, otherwise they will miss out all the action, how to make movies without a world war. But now the way we are empowered, if we go for such a foolish thing, we cannot say somebody is mentally ill. All of us are, absolutely.
Sadhguru, in a society that you described that has these mental challenges, have this sickness, how do people start to change? Can you tell us about inner engineering and how people can start to take steps towards being more well and that freedom that you talk about?
See, when we talk about engineering, let's talk about just engineering. Engineering essentially means we create a machine which does what we want it to do. If you create a machine to do one thing, if it does another thing, that's not a well-engineered machine. It doesn't fail, it does what you want it to do, that's a well-engineered machine. So, we're talking about this. This is in terms of design and its manifestation, it's the greatest piece of engineering on the planet. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
This is. The question is, it is so complex and the management is from inside. If you don't manage it well, this piece of engineering can be a big mess for yourself and the rest of the world. One human being can do terrible things to the entire humanity right now. We have that kind of capability. 1,000 years ago, if one human being went little off, he would do some damage to somebody next to him or to himself. But right now, one human being can cause massive damage to the entire world, the way we are empowered. So when this is the case, engineering yourself in a way that you want, you don't have to engineer yourself the way I want.